Good evening and welcome to the 22nd Annual Interfaith Thanksgiving celebration here in Grand Rapids. It's our privilege to be hosting this year's celebration at Trinity Lutheran Church. Thank you for being here, for coming among us. We welcome all who gather in this space and all who join us via live streaming or YouTube recording. It's good to be together. It is additionally a privilege to share with all of you an invitation this night to remembrance and lament, along with the First Nations peoples of North America. Yesterday in worship, we dedicated 2 orange banners. One of them is here. One here in Centennial Hall, another upstairs in the church sanctuary at the invitation of the American Indian Alaskan Native Lutheran Association. The Orange Banner Project began following the discovery of mass graves at the Kamloops Residential School in British Columbia, where the remains of at least 215 children were found earlier this year. The victims are being remembered by the color orange, inspired by a survivor of the residential school's Phyllis Westbad, who upon arrival at the school was stripped of her clothing, which included a new orange shirt given to her by her grandmother. It was never given back. The orange field of our banner symbolizes how the church and the schools they administered sought to take away the indigenous identity of the children in their care. At the urging of our sisters and brothers with the American Indian Alaska Native Lutheran Association, Trinity will keep these banners up for 225 days. You're helping us inaugurate that time, remembering and lamenting the 215 children that were thrown into those mass graves and those yet to be discovered. The association's president and a residential school survivor, Pastor Joanne Conroy, will bring her greetings to our assembly this evening. This Thanksgiving, let us endeavor to remember all who have been victims among indigenous people of this land, and let us repent of our complicity with such atrocity as people of the community of faith. May we have humble, prayerful, and repentant hearts, even as we come together in this celebration of resilience and thanksgiving. Again, welcome to Trinity Lutheran Church and to this year's Interfaith Thanksgiving celebration.
Hi everybody, my name is Zachariah Char, and the team that will sing here is from Sudanese Grace Episcopal Church. And the song that we will sing, you will even understand. It's going to be in Dinka, but you will understand. It's about the joy, about the birthday of Jesus Christ. Gam gorin ge bandit ge mon. Gam gorin ge bandit ge mon. Ge bandit ge white down. Ge dua an ge mon. Do ge bandit ge
Ehani washte, chante ishta, winyawakan. Hello, my name is Pastor Joanne Conrad, and I am honored to be with you today. I greet you with the eyes of my heart for this good day, and my tribal name is Holy Woman. I want to thank Pastor Bob for contacting me to be a part of this day with you today, and I am sorry that I'm unable to be with you in person. But I hope that my words will be an inspiration to you on this wonderful day of Interfaith Thanksgiving and the gathering that you are all experiencing today. So I thank you, and I want to share with you a little bit about a letter that I, as president of the American Indian Alaska Native Lutheran Association, sent out along with other board members of our association to our synod bishops and asked them to send it to our congregation. The letter reads, "Greetings in the name of our Creator, in the name of Jesus, Savior of all. We speak to you all today on behalf of the indigenous people throughout North America. We come with sad hearts at the news of 215 plus children of the Kamloops Residential School whose remains were recently found in a mass grave, and of the children of the Rosebud Sioux whose bodies were returned to their homeland. They are being remembered by many by the color orange, which you see on display here. The color orange is symbolic and came from the inspiration of a young child who was taken from her family and taken to a residential school, wearing the color orange that was given to her by her grandmother. It was taken from her and never returned. So we use this color symbolically in honor and memory of all of those children. And I want to thank Trinity Lutheran Church for the journey that you are beginning today to walk with us, American Indian and Alaska Native peoples of this United States, and within our church of the ELCA and within our communities. Thank you so much for all of those children whose remains are being identified and being returned to families. Thank you. Wopila, Pilamae. I love the theme of this gathering, resilience and thanksgiving in uncertainty, because all of these children, our children, were resilient to the end. They were resilient. They gave thanksgiving for the friends and family that they had near them in those boarding schools. They were resilient. I am also a boarding school survivor, and a few months ago, I shared my story with the St. Paul Area Synod. But I'm not going to do that today. What I want you to know is that the children of these residential schools and boarding schools are not just a part of history, past history, but they are a part of our lives today. And our children and our grandchildren are carrying those stories on. So I challenge you to listen to the stories, to honor the stories. I challenge you to learn everything you can about the American Indian Alaska Native people in your area. On whose land do you reside, whether it be your home, your business, or your church? Find out who they were and what their history is. There are over 500 tribes left in these United States, and we all speak different languages. So learn who was there, whose land you are on, and celebrate that land, learn about that land, and let that be your action as you move forward in these 225 days. I challenge you to find something new to learn about my people. And I just want to thank you. Many tribal nations have had churches offer apologies on their behalf of their ancestors, which is well and good. But that only serves to maybe cover up some feelings of guilt. But what we're asking you to do is to stand with us in memory of who we are, not only during these 225 days, but for the years to come. Teach your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, your church. Thank you for your journey that you are beginning. Thank you for walking with us. Wopila, Piamae.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cantor David Fair, and I am the cantor of Congregation Ahavas Israel and Temple Emmanuel, right here in Grand Rapids. And my pianist friend and musical partner, Philip Pletcher, is at the piano. And we'd love to share with you all a prayer this evening that is in our morning liturgy, and it's called Modim Anachnu Lach. And while the prayer is long, I'll just translate the first two lines, which really say what it's all about. Modim Anachnu Lach, we thank you. Tzur Chayenu, which means the rock of our lives. Magen Yish'enu, the shield of our salvation. Sha'atahu ledor vador, and you are the one who has been with us from generation to generation. And we hope that you all will enjoy this prayer of giving thanks. Modim anachnu lach, she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu, ve'imotenu le'olam va'ed. Modim anachnu lach, Tzur Chayenu, Magen Yish'enu, She'atahu Ledor Vador. Modim Anachnu Lach, Le'olam Va'ed. For the sun that rises in the east, for the seas that roar a prayer, for the stillness of a snowfall, for a breath of autumn air, for the grass within my fingers, for the mind that makes me whole, for the voice that God has given me to speak the truth within my soul. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, le'olam va'ed. Ve'al isecha shebechol yom imanu, shebechol yom imanu. Ve'aflotecha v'tobotecha, erev v'avoker v'tzoraim. For the laughter of the children, for the way they greet the day, with their endless stream of questions, they remind us how to play. And for the one we call beloved, who take away our fear, they tell us without saying it, remember I am here, remember I am here. Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, Modim anachnu lach, le'olam va'ed. Tzur Chayenu, Magen Yish'enu, מורשתהו לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך לעולם ועד.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم وسخر لكم الفلك لتجري في البحر بأمره وسخر لكم الأنهار وسخر لكم الشمس والقمر دائبين وسخر لكم الليل والنهار وآتاكم من كل ما سألتموه وإن تعدوا نعمة الله لا تحصوها إن الإنسان لظلوم كفار. It is God who has created the heavens and earth, who sent down water from the sky, and with it brought forth produce to nourish you. He has made ships useful to you, sailing the sea by his command, and the rivers too. He has made the sun and moon useful to you, steady in their paths. He has made the night and day useful to you, and given you some of everything you asked him for. If you tried to count God's favors, you could never calculate them. Man is truly unjust and ungrateful.
All right, I got my microphone back. Good evening. I'm Lucas Schrader, the new program manager at Center for Inquiry, Michigan. The Center for Inquiry strives to foster a secular society based on reason, science, freedom of inquiry, and humanist values. While I am an atheist, I am also a humanist. Humanists do hold faith, although it often looks a little different than the others celebrating here today. Without a divinity, our beliefs are grounded in the physical and in our humanity. As the program this evening suggests, even amongst the uncertainty and division that we find ourselves in, and perhaps especially because of it, we still have a chance to give thanks. Thanks to one another, and let's not forget a little thanks for ourselves too. Thanks for our minds and our bodies, for navigating these trials as best we could, with kindness, with dignity, and with resilience. My predecessor at Center for Inquiry, Jennifer Bien, wrote the poem A Free Thinker's Thanksgiving for the 2004 Interfaith Thanksgiving celebration. That's 17 years ago. The themes still resonate just as strongly today. For all of us of varying faiths, whether or not we express belief in a higher power, we can come together as humans to express our gratitude to all those courageous, dedicated, and compassionate people who have helped others, themselves, and their world. In Jennifer's words, we give thanks to nature for all it has provided us, for family and friends who walk with us throughout the years. We give thanks for those who have touched our hearts and made us smile. We give thanks to those who have alleviated suffering, who have championed a cause, for those who have resisted unjust laws, who have fought against oppression and injustice, and have fought for the freedoms that we enjoy today. We give thanks for those who have sacrificed their lives to make our world a better place to be. We give thanks for those who have advanced our understanding of medicine and science, who have helped explain the workings of the universe. We give thanks to those who have applied paint to canvas in a way that stirs feelings deep within us, who have composed songs which make our spirits soar. To all the people, past, present, and future, who strive to better our world and make life worth living. To these people, we give our highest praise and our endless thanksgiving. Thank you.
Namaste. Of all of the various traditions within the Hindu Dharma, arguably the Bengalis are the most devotional. Their chants and hymns speak and sing of longing, of yearning, of deep love, what we call bhakti. This is a chant that comes from antiquity. I know little about it other than it was from Bengal and is translated. You're certainly more than welcome to chant along if you so desire. Just for once come to me. Wilt thou come, wilt thou come? Just for once come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart, open wide, I keep for thee. Wilt thou come, wilt thou thou come just for once? Come to me. Wilt thou come just for once? Come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Door of my heart open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart open wide, I keep for thee. Wilt thou come just for once? Come to me. Wilt thou come just for once? Come to me. Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Will my days fly away without seeing thee, my Lord? Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Night and day, I look for thee night and day. Door of my heart open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart open wide, I keep for thee. Door of my heart open wide, I keep for thee.
Good evening. The Grand Rapids Buddhist Temple is honored to once again take part in this Thanksgiving celebration. Within the tradition of the Buddha Dharma, we have the three jewels. The three jewels are the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. To translate that into English, it is the teacher, the teaching, and those of us who are guiding our life by that teaching. That's the Sangha. The Sangha is the community. The Sangha is the family. Since the onset of this virus, which we're all masked up against, our family, all our families have been under a little stress. But as all families do, as all loving communities do, we have found very creative ways to come together when we couldn't come together. The temple has met in parks, in driveways, and of course on Zoom. And Zoom has been a blessing. Although, and please forgive me, I have to admit I am really tired of Zoom. It is that resilience of the family which gives us all that strength. It is the love of the family. The family in the traditions that are all represented here, all of us, are a place where we find love, support, and sometimes a kick in the butt when we start to slow down or turn the wrong way. The importance of our communities cannot be overstressed. It is what holds us together. It is the reason we are here. It is the reason we are in our places of, I wanted to say worship, but as a Buddhist, I don't worship, but our places of practice. The community, the Sangha, the congregation is the heart of all of our lives. And like any family, when it is tested, when it is stressed, we find ways to grow, and we are finding ways to grow, and we become stronger. And I wish the best to all of us.
Hello, I am Rosalind Bliss, Mayor of our amazing city of Grand Rapids, and I am delighted to be joining you to share some community reflections on this Interfaith Thanksgiving ceremony. You know, when I think about this past year, really the past year and a half, there is so much to reflect on. You know, I think about a year and a half ago when all of us, you know, really our worlds were turned upside down with the start of COVID. How our city, I'm sitting here at City Hall, and how our city shut down, and you know, what was a vibrant city turned into a ghost town literally overnight. And with that, and this past year and a half of the pandemic, has come so many struggles and challenges for people throughout our community and really throughout the world. The struggles for children who couldn't go to school, and families and parents who had to become teachers overnight, and schools who had to pivot quickly, families who lost their jobs and were terrified about not being able to pay their bills. All the anxiety that came with the fear of getting COVID and getting sick, watching people that we love, people that we care about get sick with COVID or spend days or months in the hospital. It's been a really tough year and a half. And then I think about all the people that continued to work day in and day out, 24 hours a day, making sure that they were there to respond to the crisis. So I think about our first responders and the people that continue to show up here at the city, in our fire department, police department, and public works. I think about everyone who works in healthcare, the doctors and the nurses who not only showed up at the beginning of the pandemic, but they continue to work around the clock to care for people in their sickest hours, sometimes in their darkest hours, and during a really fearful time in their lives. And then with all of that, I think about the challenges and the obstacles and the pain that we have all lived through this past year and a half. And I think about the incredible human spirit, the love and compassion that we saw this past year, people who stepped up in small and big ways. I think about, people coming together to make sure that children who were at home had something to eat and delivered food to families, and people who donated to our United Way to make sure that people could pay their bills. And I think about our manufacturers in town who pivoted quickly and started to create hand sanitizer and personal protection gear and give them out to people who were working on the front lines. People who showed up at the hospital with food to give and express their thanks to the people working on the front lines. I think about all of the signs throughout our community that we saw over this past year. People rallying to support our small businesses who were terrified that they wouldn't be able to open their doors back up. We saw, signs all over, physical signs all over, expressing gratitude and love. We saw chalk writings in our neighborhoods. We saw images in our windows. People reached out to support other people, knowing that people felt isolated and alone. And through all that challenge came really beautiful acts of love and kindness all over our community. So when I reflect on this past year, I know that it's been difficult for everyone, myself included. And yet through the challenge of this past year, I am so grateful for so many people and so many things in my life. And as we enter the Thanksgiving season and the holiday season, my gratitude, my deepest gratitude, are for people, are for the amazing people that have helped us get through this pandemic. The power of people and the power of the human spirit is something that is difficult, that is really difficult to capture in words. And so as we enter this Thanksgiving season, as you come together across faiths to stand together and to give praise and thanks to God, I also give praise and thanks to all of you for everything that you do in our community. I'm so grateful to be in a position to serve our community, but more than that, to be in a position to work with incredible people who really have big hearts, tons of compassion, who are generous and kind, and even on days when they felt hopeless, they helped fill other people with hope. So I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I hope you have the opportunity to pause and to reflect and to think about all that you are grateful for. Happy Thanksgiving.
This evening we are receiving offerings to be shared with the work of Samaritas and Bethany Christian Services in their work with Afghan refugee resettlement. Their mission embraces the time-honored tradition of welcoming the stranger, of standing with and supporting those who have fled the only home that they have ever known for the chance of a new life. This past month, Afghan refugees began to arrive in Grand Rapids. Some of you are already involved in seeking to serve them. And your gifts will support their rent and their clothing and their basic needs, critical support at a critical time. For those of you present here tonight, gathered at Trinity Lutheran Church, there are baskets to receive your free will offerings as you leave this space. Please know the invitation to give. You can also make a virtual offering by scanning the QR codes that are being shown via the live stream. You can actually come right up to your screen at home. I know this works. I don't understand it, but I know this works. And for those who are present this night, there are also copies of those codes on the back of your program, which still seems more tangible to me than, anyway. Those QR codes will direct you to Samaritas and Bethany Christian Services to make your gifts online, to learn more about the Afghan Refugee Network here in the Grand Rapids metropolitan area, and to find ways to get connected yourself. Let us give with generous hearts.
Refugees are not pawns on the chessboard of humanity. They are children of God who leave their homes because of war, poverty, or to seek a better life with their families. They share a legitimate desire of knowing and having, but above all, for being more.
Good evening, one and all. My name is Kyle Coyers. I'm the Associate Director of the Kaufman Interfaith Institute at Grand Valley State University. This hymn that we're going to invite you to sing together was written by Alan Hammerding to honor this very gathering. It is, in fact, an interfaith proclamation of our shared commitment to community, to resilience, even in the face of uncertainty. These words are inclusive and accessible to all. So as we sing, I invite you to stand as you are able and join with us. The tune is Ode to Joy.
Thank you, friends. As we close our evening of Thanksgiving, of fellowship, of interfaith love and respect, we're in this together. And as we reach out to help our neighbors and build neighborhoods, let us remember that these powers that we feel are greater than ourselves, that have brought the time-space syndrome into effect. Let us continually recognize our oneness. And we close with this benediction from the Baha'i Scriptures. O thou kind Lord, these are thy servants who have gathered in this meeting, have turned into thy kingdom, and are in need of thy bestowal and blessing. O thou God, manifest and make evident the signs of thy oneness, which have been deposited in all the realities of life. Reveal and unfold the virtues which thou hast made latent and concealed in these human realities. O God, we are as plants, and thy bounty is as the rain. Refresh and cause these plants to grow through thy bestowal. We are thy servants. Free us from the fetters of material existence. We are ignorant. Make us wise. We are dead. Make us alive. We are material. Endow us with spirit. We are deprived. Make us the intimates of thy mysteries. We are needy. Enrich and bless us from thy boundless treasury. O God, resuscitate us. Give us sight. Give us hearing. Familiarize us with the mysteries of life, so that the secrets of thy kingdom may become revealed to us in this world of existence, and we may confess thy oneness. Every bestowal emanates from thee. Every benediction is thine. Thou art mighty. Thou art powerful. Thou art the giver, and thou art the ever bounteous. Abdul Baha. Happy Thanksgiving.